Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. And I've got to sell some of this sunflower, or we're going to be in
Oh yeah, I
trouble.
forgot we filled up the thing, eh?
Yeah, it's completely full, and I had to pour the leftover from the harvester, the cultivator, into the semi truck. So
So where are you gonna sell it at? Mapleville Mills, I imagine.
possibly we'll see. We'll see what the going price is. I mean, I like the trains. I don't know why you're so against them. They're such beautiful.
You
Look at
liar.
that, 100,000.
Oh, look, it's
Oh
not
man,
Mapleville Mills right now.
It
Oh
w
man, but we really messed up. It
we
was higher a minute ago.
did. I'm wondering if we should.
You gotta sell it. What you gonna do with it?
I mean, store it in the
Train?
I could go store it in the train, actually.
Soybeans need to be sold right now at Mapleville Mills.
Well, let me go dump out some of this sunflower at the train, and then I'll come back and get soybeans. We'll use that as a secondary storage container.
But the thing is, you need to take. Oh, I guess you can keep them in this train silo, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't let me even dump this whole thing into the train. Maybe it's 100,000 across the board that you can store.
No, because you can buy more silos and stuff too.
True. True. So that wouldn't really make much sense if it stopped me from doing this. But I don't begin to understand a lot of the mechanics of this game either. So
What do we want to do?
well, we have 498,000 right now.
Right. Do we want to save it for that field, or do we want to buy a bigger sower, or what do we want to do? with our lives?
The bigger sower would save us time
Yeah,
in sowing.
sowing time. Where is? We kept that smaller tipper, right? Looks like your
Yes.
train was full over here.
Oh, it might be because it's barley on that field, so I don't know.
Oh yeah. It's gonna. Oh wait, you're not dumping swath. Why are you not swathing?
Oh,
Don't even care about it.
I guess not. I mean, it ain't no grass. It can't be silaged.
I mean, we could do the old cheaty method. It's not even worth growing barley though. I didn't know that's what you were growing. You said that's what you were growing, but I guess it didn't register.
But
in my
remember,
mind.
everything's worth it.
Only if you're doing the swath for this though.
Hey. Oops. I don't know if tipping back is going to be a bad thing on this. We're going to find out.
I don't think it'll let you tip it on the ground at least.
No, well, you can force it to tip on the ground, but that's like you have to hit like left control.
Right.
So I'm waiting to see when this gets to the back. I just didn't know if the whole back was going to lift up because I'm in a little train yard. Oh yeah, it took it all. So it must be a secondary silo storage. Yeah, because it doesn't even show that in our storage tank right now.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting. Oh, so you know I told you I had that guy with the architect estimates.
Yeah.
So I don't understand from a company's perspective how they really expect customers to agree to what they're asking for. It makes no sense to me. But he calls me on Monday and it was like, oh, you know, I talked to the guy who came over to your house and you know, did the checkout and talked to you guys about, you know, possibilities of what you wanted, and want to put together the proposal package, because he talked about making a proposal package for how much it would cost to get the architecture plans and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, and you know, it's still based on what we actually can do in the house. Like, we're still like not understanding exactly. Wait, what did you say I had to sell at Mapleville Mills? Soybean?
Yeah.
We don't have that much of it though, but and he's like, yeah, so he, you know, but he tells me you guys want like multiple different architect plans drawn up. You know, that's relatively complex. And I was like, well, what do you mean multiple different architect plans? And he's like, that you know, a couple different options of what to do. And I was like, well, yeah, of course, like, because we don't know, for one, what we still can do. So we're looking at expanding out back, expanding up, and expanding both. I was like, I talked to you about this already. And he's like, well, yeah, it's just, you know, it gets into like this this scheme of having, you know, multiple plans and everything have to get drawn up instead of just one plan for what to do. But, you know, we can put it all in, like, the proposal package. And I was like, you know, what are you estimating that this proposal package is going to, you know, be estimating that it's going to cost for us to get this stuff done? Oh, no, I can't even get into that right now. I have to really sit down and crunch the numbers and, you know, see all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. So after that, at least, then if we get those, based on if we decide to move forward and actually, you know, go with the, you know, accept your proposal to, you know, make up these architecture plans, then we'll be able to look at these plans and have an estimated cost of, like, what this potentially could be running. And he's like, well, no. What that happens is, after we draw up the plans, you will choose one, and then from there we can take that to the construction teams to see, you know, how much they think it's going to run. But you have to choose a plan first. And I was like, how can I choose a plan without having any idea, a potential estimate of how much it's going to cost to enact said plan? And he goes, well, you know, what's your budget? And I was like, our budget is based on many things, including what we can do, what kind of plans you come up with, you know, what's possible to actually be done at this place. And he's like, well, no, you have to, you know, you have to select a plan first so we can, like, really take that through and understand what it is that it's going to cost for all this stuff. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, part of the point of this is understanding how much this is going to cost, understanding what we can and can't do to our house. And he's like, well, it just gets really, really complex when you're looking at trying to get estimated numbers in there when we're coming up with these architecture plans. Who the fuck is going to want to look at a plan and have...
I'm going to decide what I'm going to do before I know how much it's going to cost, is what he's saying you need to do?
Yes.
That's absurd.
I agree. And I'm not understanding, like, who in their right mind is saying, yes, okay, move forward. You'll give me an architecture drawing and I'll be like, yes, that's the one I want. Let's move forward. Okay, we'll tell you how much it's going to cost later.
Right.
That it doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know if I just happen to be working with a terrible company, or if this is the way that I mean, it sounds like that to me as well, but I will tell you, one of the things that Julia wants to do is, well, let's just get a bunch of people over here, you know, and they'll come over and do all these free estimates and stuff. It's like, you don't understand. Like, all the people I've talked to already, nobody does free estimates. They all want to charge you by the hour or that flat rate. Like, because that was the reason before, and that was just to even find out what's possible to be done according to the zoning, despite whether you have the zoning or not. Like, I don't know what to do.
Well, clearly you need to pick a plan so he can tell you how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, but I need to see how much it's going to... Like, granted, he hasn't come back with the proposal yet. I made it very clear that based on how much he brought the proposal to even make plans were, that there was a very good possibility we wouldn't be moving forward, because I was like, you're making it sound like it's going to cost a ridiculous amount of money before we even have any idea what could be feasible to even have an idea of, you know, how much it would cost to do the project. I have a funny feeling he's going to come back with somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000 to come up with plans that we will still have no idea how much they would cost.
Yeah. Yeah. That's ridiculous. You just I can't believe. I mean, I want to know these people that just pick what they're going to do. They must just, I guess, just people with more money than time, or whatever. They're just like, I want this and make it happen. I don't get this.
What I really want and need is I want somebody to give me a, like, rough, I drew it on a napkin, like, this is what we could theoretically be doing for you based on having seen your house, and estimating, because we've done this in the past for other houses, it's going to cost you $180,000 to get this done. If you want to move forward, we'll start making plans for you. It's going to cost this much to make the plans. Like, he hasn't even given me an inkling of an estimate that I can even know. And no matter how many times I've said it in different ways and tried to say, you know, need to understand kind of what ballpark, because if we're talking, you know, I told him, I have no idea how much this stuff costs to do. If we're talking, you know, $100,000, that's completely different than talking $300,000. And he can't seem to get it through his head that I want to know before even moving, because if it's going to cost $300,000, we're probably not going to move forward with it, at least not right now.
Right.
If it's going to cost $100,000, yeah, maybe we'll work on that, because it's going to have an inherent increased value to the house and things like that. But I have some type of idea before I just go start throwing money down the drain. It really does make me wonder if they bank on the fact that people aren't going to move forward, so therefore they try to force money out of you up front.
Right. It's kind of like those movie audition things where they're really just selling you headshots and all that other bullshit. They're not actually trying to get you a role as an actor or actress, whatever.
Right. I mean, this guy, because it is so much more money than headshots, I almost feel like it's like the fake casting couch. Selling dignity for... oh my God, why is it got to be so difficult?
But the fake casting couch, I don't think the videos of fake casting couches are fake casting couches. I think those people know that their casting couch video is the porno.
Oh, I would absolutely believe that. I think there'd be way too many lawsuits on their hands if those people were, not willing participants.
Well, there's probably a lot of shady contracts that are dealt out in the porn industry too, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of people that sign for like $300 away their half their life and don't realize they're doing it because they just want that $300.
Right. But do you think those people who go to the fake casting couch and perform those acts on people, especially the ones like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen them before. I've seen them before.
I haven't actually seen any fake casting couch porn. I've watched porn, but I have not actually watched any fake casting couch porn. I'm going to admit it.
Oh, I've definitely seen them. And some of them are entertaining because they get really good. Some of them are even more entertaining because of how freaked out people get at the end, and like they run out of the office because they realize they didn't want to be doing what they were doing. Those people, though, there's no way they signed a disclaimer. Oh, if it was truly a fake casting couch. I mean, they definitely signed the disclaimer if they were in on it and that was what their role was to do.
Right.
I mean, sadly, most porn is fake, which is sad. Gives you too high of hopes for what could be than what really is. But like, there's
I mean, anytime I've ever had sex, I'm not making sure I'm in a the perfect angle for the camera, not for pleasure. And that's what most porn is, right? Getting that angle right for the camera, not for what actually feels good.
Right. I do kind of want to understand, like, I've always wondered about just, like, Survivor in general, like, how quickly you get used to camera crews, people say. Because I think that would be a funny thing, like, if I was ever on Survivor, I think that would be, like, the most memorable thing to me right away, probably, is, like, that there's people constantly around you taping, and how do you deal with that in your just general going abouts and dealing with, daily business? Think of porn people. Like, there's probably, because there's not probably just one cameraman. There's probably multiple lighting guy, guy holding the boom, type of deal. And you're just, like, doing your thing.
Yeah. It probably does become like you don't even really recognize or realize anymore. You don't see the cameraman. I would
think that is extremely strange for a porn star to go back to, like, their normal relationship. Like, because a lot of them are married and have, like, people that they claim, understand.
That's weird to me, too. Like, I couldn't be married to a porn star.
I mean, I guess it depends on how much money they make. I don't know. There's a huge difference between sex and love. And as long as you were people that could, because there's like open relationships and stuff out there that people have, and it's because those people. I think that's weird
too, though. That's just not me, but it's just not for me, I guess, is the thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely think it's. I don't know. I try to think if I don't know if I could.
No, I think I'm too insecure, honestly.
Be like so I used to I remember when I was in like high school, early college, and a lot of people, at that point where, you'd have like in high school the people who are losing their virginity, or people who go to college and are still virgins and are debating whether they're really going to save themselves because that was their original plan, was to save themselves and all that stuff. And people used to say, like, Jeff, like, what would you rather have in the future? Like, would you rather marry, you know, a virgin, or would you rather marry, like, somebody who used to be a hooker? And with the, you know, connotation that they're disease free, they haven't contracted anything, you know, things like that. And it was, you know, I guess it's up to you to decide if it truly is that they're truly reformed or not. But, and I was always like the reformed hooker every time. And they're like, I don't understand why. And it'd be like, well, because they've been around the block, they've experienced everything. If they're still with me and married me,
that's good.
I'm not going to disappoint them any more than I already have. And they've had better. They've had much better. With the, you know, if they've done this.
Maybe not. I mean, they married you, right? Maybe you were the best they ever had.
You know what? I guess it would be.
It'd be like the extreme compliment. If the hooker wants to sleep with you monogamously, then you are the best.
Yeah, well, and I guess it might not be. I guess a hooker, now that I think about it, is probably a bad example because they might not have had better. Because the people who are paying for hookers maybe not are, you know, like dynamites in the sack. I don't know. Maybe it'd be like a reformed porn star.
Do we have too many workers right now? Is that what's going on?
We might. You only have 4. I see 3 on the screen. 1, 2. I only see 3 on the screen. Can you not hire a guy?
No, I'm hitting H and nothing's happening.
For what?
Fertilizing.
Yeah, I thought we could have 4, and I really do only see 3 on the screen. Unless
I don't even see the option. Oh, now it just came up. I want to work and complete their task. Yeah, we had.
Who finished their task though?
B.
Where was B at?
Where you be?
Where you be? But yeah, because most likely, porn stars had better. Just whether it be sheer size or sheer, you know, movement or whatnot. But that's more likely than not. But yeah, I would actually never want to be with a virgin. Personally. Never.
Well, you had to have been with one well, I assume you've been with one at least once.
I don't think so, actually.
Oh.
No, my first was definitely not. My second, I was definitely or like I was her second. So, I mean, that's kind of close, but not exactly, obviously. No, I've never been with a virgin before.
Huh.
I don't think I'd ever want to. God, it'd be terrible.
Well, not now. Like, at this stage, if you're with a virgin, you're either with someone that's extremely younger than you or with someone that
couldn't get it for whatever reason throughout the rest of their lives.
Right, I feel like there's something wrong with someone if you've gone to, like, our age and you haven't had sex. There might not be, but I feel like there is. I mean, yeah, maybe that's wrong of me to say.
I agree with you. I understand what you're saying, and I understand how some people might take that the wrong way. You know, oh, 35, I was just saving myself, and then the right man never came along for marriage, so what's wrong with saving? Yeah, I get that. It could happen.
Yeah.
The odds are low.
I mean, I guess I don't understand some of the religious pushes that force you into that situation because I'm not super religious, but I can't imagine. I feel like you would go just the curiosity alone. I mean, I guess that said, like there's all these drugs and all these things that I could be doing that the curiosity hasn't taken me over. But it seems like sex is much more human.
I also feel the same thing about married virgins. Or not married, like people who marry virgins. And I think that is just human nature. I think if you were a virgin to marry somebody else, eventually, if your marriage lasts for like 10 years, eventually you're going to start getting curious on, this is all I've ever had. What else is out there? And I don't think that it's not going to be a knock against anybody's significant other, but I think human nature would tell you to be curious.
Yeah.
But maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I've never been in that situation anymore. It's because it's been a long time since I've been a virgin. I wasn't like one of those. I was like 17, I think, when I lost my virginity. I was end of my senior year in high school, so I wasn't. You know, I knew some people who lost their virginity. They claimed they did at least at like 12, and I'm pretty confident that they were not lying when, you know, that was the case, but that was not me. I was a quote-unquote late bloomer, but early bloomer for some people's standards. I don't know. It all depends on...
I mean, I tried desperately to lose my virginity long before I ever did, and just couldn't. Just no attempt worked out, basically.
I think, man, I was so... I can remember the night that I did... Or more the day that I did. I don't remember the act as much because it was terrible. I was terrible, absolutely terrible. I remember being at school because I just been dating this girl for, you know, a couple months, and things were, you know, I was all excited. You know, she was super hot. Like, in my opinion, I have no idea looking back if she really was super hot or not. I'm pretty sure she was, but I haven't seen a picture from back then. But I remember sitting at school knowing, because we kind of, it's not like we planned it, but we planned it to the point where I knew it was happening soon, and like sitting at school going, oh my god, like tomorrow I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna have had sex, like this is crazy. And I was like freaked out. I wasn't like sitting there super excited like, yeah, my dreams have come true. It was just like, everything changes after this. You ever seen the movie Fallen?
Did you finish fertilizing here? Did he finish fertilizing?
He was just sitting up at the top of the field, so I would assume
so.
So.
Okay, yeah, I guess he did. Okay, cool.
Oh, you already got this done.
Yeah, I already done.
I was like, all hooking this stuff.
I was wondering what you were doing.
I was like hooking this stuff up, and it's already finished. You ever seen the movie Fallen with Denzel Washington?
I've seen all of Denzel Washington's movies, so I have, but I don't remember what movie.
Fallen's the one where that spirit that kept singing "Time is on my side."
Okay.
You don't remember this?
I don't remember.
The spirit, Azazel, I think it is. John Goodman's in it.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Yes. Yep.
So
John Goodman movies too.
he I don't even know what I'm trying to do right now. He, at one point, before he finds some secret about Azazel or whatever, he's going downstairs and he's like, you know, there are those things in life that happen when you're always going to walk away and say there's a before this event and an after this event. And this is one of those times. And I always think about, like, the virginity loss is, like, one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, having a child is another one of those things, you know. There's definitely, now that I've had a child, there is a before I had a child and an after I had a child. Like, it was one of those type of events. But I definitely feel like the virginity loss is one of those type of events as well.
Did you rub one out beforehand?
No, I think I was so afraid that I can remember enough about it. I remember it was I was on crutches. I had a cast on my leg actually when I lost my virginity. Yeah, and then like the third time ever I had sex, her parents walked in on us, so that was a great start.
That happened the second time I had sex.
Isn't it great?
It was the worst. It was the worst.
Her parents were at least really funny.
The worst part for me was that my mom called her by my ex's name because she like the lights were off, and so like I had like my own little front porch area to the house. I had like my own entrance to the house, like a little front porch area, and so I was supposed to be driving up here where I live now because my grandma had told me whenever I graduated high school she was going to give me a car, and so this is the '99 Beetle that I still have. I was supposed to be driving up the next day to pick up this car. And so she's over at the house, and we're doing our thing or whatever. And my mom wakes up because I was supposed to be driving up here that night. I just got off of work, and so she wanted to tell me to be careful or whatever. And so she knocks on the door, and I like freak out. And she goes out on the front porch, and I open the door. And my mom's like, "Why are you all sweaty? What took so long to open the door?" And I was like, "I'm just packing, just real busy packing,
just packing it in, packing it right in there."
Packing. And so she comes in, and like I had like two bedrooms basically. I had like a bedroom, and then like I basically had my whole end of the house, and so I had like basically like a living room and a bedroom. And so she goes into like the bedroom, she goes to the living room, goes to the bedroom, looks in the closet, and then she goes out on the porch, and there she was out on the porch completely naked, and she's like,
she was just on the porch naked.
Yep. And so she calls her by my ex's name, and yeah, I was like, that's not her. And she's like, "I'm taking you home," and I'm like, "I don't know if you should, because she's 16, and and she's like, "Well, you need to take her home." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that." And,
yeah, her parents walked in the middle of the act. like I was, bare-assed up in the air, and her parents opened the door.
Man.
And that was kind of scary. But like her parents she had two, a younger brother and a younger sister, and her parents had taken them to like a softball game or something like that. And they had just left like 10 minutes before, so we thought like,
you had time.
we have all the time in the world right now. And I guess something happened, and they canceled it or something, so they ended up coming home. And they came home extremely quietly for whatever reason. And her mom literally like, we heard the door open, and I just looked over, and her mom goes, "Oh my God," and just shut her eyes and turned around and walked out. And I was like, oh, what the hell? But her parents were really, really cool and really funny, and they were like, I actually had to go out and talk to them. And they were like, so we'll have to talk about exactly what, what this was. We don't just like pretend it didn't happen. And they were really like, look, the only thing that is really big concerning is that it could have been, the younger brother and younger sister walking in as opposed to me. She's like, wow. So just make sure you lock the door or something so that doesn't happen. It was pretty much what she said.
How old were y'all?
I was 17. She was 18.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like...
She's an adult. So,
yeah, yeah. We were,
I don't know that I would be that okay with it. I don't want to imagine what happens when my daughter's of the age where she can have sex. Like, I don't want to even think about it. Like, especially, like, if she's, like, a slut at, like, 13 or something. Like, I don't want to think about these things.
But when she's 13, you have to think about those things.
I know, but I mean, at least I got time. I might die before then.
See, and it's kind of funny because I think about it from the opposite perspective because, I have a son, and I don't, not the opposite perspective
as in like,
well, that's
the dad of the son.
That's
like,
what
you're like, oh, you got laid, good for you.
So, and that is kind of what it is, but only when it's appropriate, if it's safe, at the right age, not for the wrong reasons type of deal. Like, there's still that aspect of it. But, if your daughter gets pregnant when she's young, yeah, that's terrible.
But it's also, yeah, now in those cases, then there also is the whole boy situation. I see what, I'm assuming that's where you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pregnant with one, maybe twins or something like that. But my kid could be out there impregnating multiple women.
Okay, yeah.
And that might be terrible. So yeah, that's something big. My second, the second girl that I was with, and it's funny because like looking back, people out there, you will remember your first, maybe your second, maybe your third, and if you get higher than that, maybe not anymore. You don't remember them all like in line. But my second girlfriend, or second girl I was with. We dated for like 2 years through most of college, so of course that's a little bit more memorable because it was a huge part of my life when I was growing and becoming myself. But she, like I said, I was her second, and her parents were really like a lot stricter, very upset with her for doing any little thing wrong, even though she did a lot of things wrong that they just never found out about, of course. But she had a lot more of the overbearing parents, and I guess they found, I guess she used to keep it, whoa, demolition.
Let's use this one to be faster.
She used to keep a journal or something, and I guess they found an old journal that was an old journal from 2 years before we had ever dated, and it was talking about the guy she lost her virginity to, and it made mention in there how she had lost her virginity or whatnot, and her parents flipped out on her. A lot of it because she was at the time probably only 16 maybe, because we started dating when she was 19 or 20. I think she might have been like 16 or something like that, or we started dating when she was like 18 or 19. But to try to alleviate the concern from her parents, she decided to be like, no, the dates are wrong. I wrote that about Jeff, who, it was him, and it was recently, blah, blah, blah. So now, not only is that a huge lie, but granted, now her parents know that we're having sex, and she didn't want them to know that we were having sex because she was like, concerned about that. But now they think I'm the person who violated their daughter. And I'm just like, oh, come on. Like,
you made it worse.
Your parents don't really like me that much anyway. And, now they really don't like me because, yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Not at all fun. But
maybe my daughter will be that 36-year-old that is a virgin that I just said something's wrong with.
I mean, it's possible.
I wonder what I can do to ruin her at this age to allow that to be the thing.
Well, there's probably so much you can do to ruin her at this age. This age is like not even a concern. Like, you want to ruin her, now is the perfect time. No, I actually guess I don't know when kids are the most susceptible to be quote unquote ruined.
I feel like at all times.
I mean, that has some merit to it, sure. Where is our fertilizer spreader, by the way?
Where did I drop that off at? I had it. Oh wait, no, you took it off because you found the guy at the top of the field.
That's right. It's way up here. I know where it's at. Yeah, I guess all ages, but there's got to be like that susceptibility period of where it's like 10 times worse.
Young, like, you know, able to understand language. Like once they can understand language, I think that their minds are more moldable at a young age than they are once they've got some grasp on the world. You know, like my daughter still believes in magic and all those sort of things. Like, in fact, today,
what do you mean
she's got
still
this magic set. I mean, you know, I believe in a street performer, David Blaine. So
of course, he's definitely a man who can fly, live in a ice box. He can do it all.
But she has this magic set. And, you know, every trick I've taught her in it, like, you know, it comes this book that has, like, the tricks and all the little gadgets that help you do all the tricks. And, like, it's clear she understands that she's not performing magic. But this morning she woke me up, because we'd been playing with it last night. And she woke me up this morning and was like, my hat and wand just do not work. And I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's one thing, she just woke me up. And I was like, what are they doing right now? And she's like, they're broken. And I'm like, how did you break them? Like, I thought she like ripped it or something, because it's got like a little hidden compartment in the hat. And so I like get up and get dressed and all this and like come there trying to figure out. And she's got this Snow White doll inside of her hat, and she's trying to make Snow White become alive. And it just doesn't work. And I'm like, well, you know, this isn't real magic. And she just looked fucking devastated. I ruined her life with this knowledge that this is not real magic. Like, this is, I was like, well, you know, it's like gimmicks and like tricks. And it's made to trick other people to think you're doing magic, but it's not real.
But I mean, I'm glad you told her now, even though if it devastated her, because, you know, better before she decides she wants to turn your cat into a dog. Because that's probably not going to turn out so well.
Yeah. But like, she thinks all the Disney princesses are real people. In fact, Mickey gives her a gift every year, just like Santa. I mean, Mickey's a friend.
I never had Mickey give me gifts. My dog gives me gifts, though.
I don't think that's a standard thing in families, but she just like, she's always thought Mickey's her friend. I guess it's mainly Extra Life's fault for her getting to go to Disney so often. And she just thinks, I mean, because Mickey tells her, you know, because he's the one of the characters at Disney that actually talks. And he talks about how, oh, I'm so happy you're here to see me. And, oh, my friend, and all this. And I knew you were coming and all this shit. And so she just thinks that, you know, Mickey's the real fucking deal. And so we started giving her a Christmas gift from Mickey every year.
I mean, and now you've solidified the fact that Mickey is her friend. So when he stops communicating with her, and I mean, as much as I'm worried about the whole Virginity and all that stuff, I'm also worried about the time when Santa Claus becomes fake and all that stuff. Like all these things, there's a lot of heartbreak left in the world that she doesn't have to know about yet. So did you tell her about Santa Claus?
Yeah,
because that I have a question on if I'm going to do with my kid.
See, I think it's important to do. I mean, you know, just also not being religious. I've told her about every major religion too. Because I feel like she's going to go to school and be surrounded by lots of people.
Yes, but telling somebody about major religions is a little different, because major religions to grown adults still exist. And whether you believe in them
still exists.
Yes.
You just found out he's fake, but I found out that God was fake.
But you have an idea in your mind that God is fake.
Santa Claus could be real.
coming down your chimney, giving you
No, I mean, he
gifts?
uses magic. We don't have a chimney, so he has to come.
He uses magic. The other thing you've already stated is fake.
No, I did not say all magic is not real. Just her magic set is not magic. No. Like, Mickey has magic at his part. And that part is still, I'm still lying to that.
Yeah, I just don't even know if I'm going to go down the whole Santa Claus thing. I mean, I'll probably explain Santa Claus, who he is and what the concept of him is, but I don't think I'm going to try to make him believe that he's a real person that's really coming into our house and giving him gifts.
Did you have Santa Claus as a kid?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I mean, to an extent. And then I just think I got so curious about if it was real or not that it was kind of like, it was more of the mission of finding out if he was real or not. But I think part of my problem might be the fact that I remember one day we were at the store, and I remember this vividly. And not because it devastated me, but it just kind of showed me something. It was like right before Easter, and we started getting things for Easter baskets. And I think I was shopping with my mom, and I think my sister was there too. And she was putting like the candy and stuff in the basket, like right in front of me. And
oh, well, see, that's a big mistake.
Well, I mean, this was like I was like, God, how old is you supposed to be? Because I couldn't tell you. I was about to say 13, but I think that's way too old. I have no idea how old you're supposed to be before you.
You're real naive if you were 13.
Yeah, however old I was, it was. But the whole talk was when I was looking at this candy, and my mom just looked at me and goes, "You don't believe in the Easter Bunny anymore, right?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Good."
You know this shit ain't real, right?
Yeah, that was like the extent of the talk, and like I said, it's not that that talk devastated me or anything. What the fuck are you doing? Why did you stop halfway through this field? You are a piece of shit, guy.
He believes in the Easter Bunny.
He might. He's very pissed off that I don't believe in the Easter Bunny or something.
Yeah, that's why he stopped.
But yeah, that was the old talk, and it was just like, was it worth it? And at what point, as like, what if my kid gets really upset with me and devastated because they find out it's not real?
I think that they'll get over that, and they'll realize that you did it for their enjoyment at a young age, and that it's also just it's a norm. Like, I mean, maybe I'm wrong for conforming to these norms, but like, I expect that most kids are told about Santa and will believe in Santa, and whenever she goes to school, there'll be other kids that think Santa's real, and so I don't want her to be in the one, because I'll tell you what I did the moment, because I remember vividly the Christmas where I decided that I thought Santa was bullshit. I asked, I was told the truth, and I immediately went next door to our
and ruined Christmas for the neighbors
and ruined it for every child there.
You said, "Yo, Santa's not real. Santa's not real."
That's exactly what the fuck I did. And then I got my ass whooped hard.
Were you mad, or did you just think you were special?
No, I wasn't mad.
Knew?
I was just like, hey, I fucking got the scoop. Like, I was like a reporter, basically.
He's writing a story,
right.
Getting it out, making the YouTube video. Guys,
right.
I got the truth uncovered.
Right.
Send it to Keemstar.
Truth revealed. That's exactly what it was. I wasn't trying to be an asshole. I was just like, you gotta know. The truth is out there.
Everybody must know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're not to the point where we have to get there like anytime soon, but it also...
Yeah, it's going to happen real soon.
Well...
I'll tell you what, my daughter grew 5 years in like a week.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. It is. It's going to come up real soon. And I have to have a plan ready.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get caught up in the mess and be like...
shopping. I did all that the other day. All the school supplies.
Oh, school supplies. I thought you said Christmas shopping. I was like, you did all that the other day?
Honestly, though, I do.
To date our content a little bit. It's Christmas shopping.
I have most of the Christmas stuff already, and there's next Easter's already bought. Except for the candy. But, like, yeah, that's something that always happens, actually. It's just buy, like whenever, like, toys go on sale or... And honestly, whenever I'm terrible about this, but Microsoft sends me all this shit. Like Minecraft
I'm terrible about Microsoft sending me all this shit too.
But that's
damn you, Microsoft!
They sent me this Easter basket this year, and it's the best Easter basket. I couldn't have made an Easter basket this good, so that's why Easter's already done. Because I didn't open it until after Easter, and it's got like 3 Minecraft Lego sets and like the Minecraft bunny and just the perfect Easter basket. So
how do I get Microsoft to send
next
me
year's
an
Easter basket?
Easter basket?
I sucked a lot of dick.
I mean, didn't we talk about that the other day? You said you didn't.
Sucking dick?
You didn't. Yeah, you didn't suck any dick.
No, I mean, I'm just kidding. I don't actually know how I ended up on this list. I think it really just started with me going to E3, and after that, I was always on this list, basically. Like, I did some stuff with them at E3, and then I've just forever been on a mailing list. And like every year at E3, they're like, "Hey, you want tickets?" And also they did the charity stuff with us. I mean, that's how we got the contacts for all the charity stuff, was going to that E3. Like, E3's probably the most advantageous convention I've ever been to.
That's crazy, because you don't really hear much in the YouTube gaming space about E3 after E3. It's kind of, there's a convention happening, and then there's the E3's over. And this was...
Yeah, I think industry-wise, that's the best one, because you actually... But I don't know. They opened it to the public this year, and so... You know, I don't want to sound like I'm like, oh, fuck that, it's for special people. I do wonder if it's like, as someone that did get so much, you know, connection-wise out of it, I wonder if that still happens with it being flooded by, because, you know, the vendors don't know who is just a regular person and who is someone that, you know, makes content and
yeah, I guess that makes
exists
sense.
within the space, so to speak.
I mean, they had to open it up to the public, though, to compete with the Flat Earth Convention.
I'm still sad that I can't go to that. I'm thinking about driving up there that day and like seeing if there's like scalp tickets and stuff. I looked on eBay and all over the place, and I just can't find any tickets. I'm just really salty.
I mean, maybe you're looking at the round Earth version of eBay. And that's the problem.
I saw a shower thought on Reddit yesterday, and it was like, we should kickstart a reality TV show where we get a bunch of flat earthers together and pay for them to prove that the earth is flat through all means possible. Like they would take them to travel wherever they want to go and all of these things, basically make a reality show where a flat earther proves that the earth is flat.
But I mean, how many ratings can that possibly get?
I would watch that shit.
For how long?
Forever.
Forever. Until they fell off the edge of the earth.
Right.
I want to know
how many of them are trolls like me. Like, you know, because I've said many a times that I'm a flat earther, but I'm obviously not. But I want to know how many of the flat earthers believe the earth is flat.
I think most of them. Oh, no. Believe the earth is flat? I think I think minimal. I would bet I think it's being very generous to say less than 50% of them are true. I would venture to guess less than 10% of them are
you think so?
Actual believe in the flat earth concept.
You think the rest of them are just getting a laugh? Like
yes, that's my...
yeah, that's one of those things you just kind of have to believe, right?
Well,
people can't be that stupid.
And that's why I brought this up a couple of videos ago when I saw that news article about that guy with the Flat Earthers group. Like, I just... Because I always thought the whole thing was like a joke. So the fact that the whole thing obviously isn't a joke already makes me question on, you know, is my perception that only 10% of them are legitimate even close to accurate, because I obviously am way off base.
I want to meet one. Co met one in a car once, and I'm just sad that I've never met one. He had an Uber driver or a Lyft or something that was a flat earther.
I mean, you definitely really couldn't meet him in a plane.
No, planes are explained by them. Like it's just like about like the way the Earth spins is that you can fly, like the flat Earth spin, like the way you rotate around it and stuff.
It's like so can you spin the flat Earth like a coin? And
it's like a fidget spinner.
Yeah, decide the fate of the world based on heads or tails. Maybe that's how the flat Earth started, and like we are like one of the sides, the equivalent of heads or tails, and everybody on the other side of the Earth is just too bad for them. They lost.
You got tails, suckers.
It's over.
Oh man,
is there gravity on the other side of the flat Earth?
That's what I don't know. I need to do more research into it. That's why I need to go to this convention. Get the information from the source.
Informational gathering session. I wonder if I could submit like to my work as an informational session for the betterment of the industry to have them pay for me to go to this convention. I have to have a really good write-up on how that would help people in the medical industry, but
maybe if you were in mental health, you could get past that.
That's possibly true. So that I knew how to deal with people who came in with quote-unquote flat Earth syndrome.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I could come up with something.
Well, we're out of time for today, it seems.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.